I appreciate the question.
Me too. I did not know that.
Mhm.
It's only when
So-
it's all virtual.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
hey, Katie, it's always different in Virginia. You know that.
It
Always
might be
a-
true other places too, and I've just never thought about it.
I know. So we're coming up on 2 minutes. I just texted everyone else. I'm hoping that they didn't forget that we have a virtual meeting.
Oh,
Well, I'm sure if they show up in person, they'll get settled somewhere.
Good morning, Mike.
Mic check. Good morning, everyone.
Morning. We heard you.
Okay, thank you.
And to the staff, good morning. Y'all look really good at that conference room table.
doesn't usually have us around the table.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
There.
We planned a full house, right, Leslie? Was there anyone who was not attending?
Ms. Mensing said that she
Okay.
would not attend, and Ms. Heiser said that she would not attend.
Thank you for letting us know, Les. Did not realize that. I just text Ms. Heiser. So, okay. Thank you, Leslie. Anyone else that may not?
I did not hear from anyone else
Okay, thank
saying
you.
that they would not come.
There's,
I did not
there's so-
hear it all from Mr. Gordy or Ms. Young, but that's kind of typical. They don't
Yes.
usually respond.
Good morning, Ms. Vasquez, Luna.
Good morning.
We're just doing an audio check, and if you can confirm, you can see the presentation.
Yes, I can see it. Thank you.
Very well, thank you.
The only thing we didn't do this morning is travel with Sarah. That's the only thing we did not do. So I'm going to give it one more minute. It is 9 o'clock. Is that okay with everyone?
Well, we can't start until we have a quorum.
Do we have a quorum
Oh.
yet, or where are we?
Not yet have a quorum, so Mr. Gordy is there, I see.
Okay, good
Morning,
morning,
Mr.
Mr.
Gordy.
Gordy.
Mr. Gordy, you do need to use
Good
your
morning.
camera, please. There's Dr. Young. Good morning, Dr.
Good
Young.
morning, Dr. Young. Thanks for turning on your camera.
So we were waiting for Mr.
How many more do we need,
We
Leslie?
were waiting for Ms. Holmes. So we have, how many do we have there, guys?
Let me read it
I
out
have-
to you. Ms. Bailey, Dr. Young, Ms. Hayes, Mr. McLaughlin, Ms. Bagley, Ms. Vasquez Luna, and Mr. Gordy.
Okay, that's only 7. We need have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have enough jurisdictions, and we have enough
Ms. Holmes just joined. Good morning, Ms. Holmes.
homes. And I
Morning, Ms. Holmes. Do we have a quorum yet? No?
That's, let's see. Yeah.
Good morning. Sorry.
Good to see you, Ms. Holmes.
There we
So
go.
There we go. Mr.
Are we
Gordy,
good?
that's 8. Okay, we're good.
We're good.
And we've got the weight.
I'm sorry?
Okay.
And we have the weight. So yes, we have a quorum.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Les, for always keeping us on point. I appreciate you. And if someone,
And Ms. Bailey, we're good to
sorry?
go as far as technology is concerned.
wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all.
We're good.
We can start now. If someone please can send the virtual link to Mr. Stewart. He says, I'm actually
Yes.
4 minutes out by the car. So if you could say, if you could please send the link to him, I would really appreciate that. Well, good morning, everyone. It's so good to see you this morning, and thank you for your flexibility and allowing us to have our first virtual meeting. I really appreciate that. I call this meeting to order. Currently, we're at 9:03, and we like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if those are able can stand to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I would really appreciate it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. No, it's a little awkward, but we did well. If the clerk would please call the roll, I'd appreciate it.
Miss Bagley,
Here.
Miss Bailey,
Present?
Miss Hayes,
Here.
Miss Heiser, not present. Miss Holmes,
Present.
Mr. Gordy,
Here.
Mr. Carantonis, Miss Luna,
Presente.
Mr. McLaughlin,
Here.
Miss Mensing is not present. Mr. Stewart, Mr. Stork, Dr. Young,
Presente.
Ms. Zimmerman is not here. She's being represented by Mr. McLaughlin. So yes, Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Leslie. And I just got a text from Mr. Caratonis saying, I'm here, but WebEx takes time. So I'm sure he'll be joining
Okay.
us very soon, I'm sure. We'll have our safety moment from Ms. Katie Cho. If you would, please, ma'am.
I'm actually going to ask Mark to do it because he's closest to the sign.
Sure. So I will do the safety briefing for those of us who are here at the headquarters. All of you who are on remotely, please look around, make sure that you know how to leave the situation that you're in if you need to. For those of us who are here, we are at 1500 King Street on the second floor. If we do need to leave for any emergency, please stand up, put your chairs in, walk out, don't run. We have a good number of people here in the room, so please look to the right and take care and make sure that that person also makes it out. We will leave, go out, not use the elevator, take the stairs, muster across the street in the VRE parking lot, unless, of course, there is a gas leak, in which case we will instead continue down to the corner of Duke and Peyton and muster there. Can I see a raising of hands for people who are CPR qualified? Chris, if you could be the lead. Kristen, if you could be the backup. Could I have volunteers for 911? Dallas, if you could be the lead. Chris Coker, if you could be the backup. I will be the runner to go down and to get any first responders that may need to come up. We have the AED and the CPR in the kitchen, right in the small kitchen right here. We'll use that one. And remember, we don't try to deal with any fire that's larger than a trash can. Thank you.
That was perfect, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for displaying the agenda. Next, we're going to have the approval of the agenda for the March 20th today for the Operations Board. I'd like to request a motion for that, please.
So moved.
And a second. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Are there any additions, revisions to the agenda? If there's not, all that are in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Okay. Any disapprovals?
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Beautiful voices. No disapprovals. The motion passes. Thirdly, we'll
Madam Chair, we need to ask all the members to make sure that they are on camera. For an all virtual meeting, we need everyone on camera.
You need to stay on camera. If you drop, then you don't count as part of quorum. So it's not just for voting, it's for purposes of quorum as well.
Okay. I have my coffee now, so
Everyone?
I'm good.
Okay. Are we set? The intent is to make this a quick
Appreciate that.
meeting without interruption, so you can go have more coffee. So are we all set? Are we set? Please stay on camera. I see we've been joined by our vice chair. He is present. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay. And we're off. Next is the approval of the minutes for February 20th, 2026 for our VRE board. Does anyone have any corrections or amendments to the minutes at this time? And if you could just signify by using your keypad and raising your hand so we don't all talk at once, I'd appreciate it. That helps me stay focused. Okay. No corrections or amendments to the minutes. I'd like to request a motion and a second, please.
So
to
moved.
approve.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'd
And
like
that
to
was,
call-
I'm sorry, that was Ms. Holmes and
Me, Hayes.
No, that-
Hayes,
so
and who was
if
the
you could,
second?
if we could, please signify by, just hit that little button. We're gonna take practice today. Hit the little button for, okay. The motion was made by Ms. Hayes and the second was made by whom, please? The second was made by,
I think
Ms.
the
Holmes.
second was Ms. Hayes and the first one
Okay.
was me and Ms. Holmes together, but I'll
Okay,
give it to
great.
her.
Okay, okay, just raise your hand, and then that'll help me see everybody. I'm trying to help. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we'll move back in to the chair's comments. Just want to thank the wonderful staff that we have at VRE under the helm of our own CEO, Katie Cho, for just coordinating this virtual meeting for us. You did it in short order and you did it impeccably. The gentlemen were on early today, and that just gives us such a sense of comfort and how we need to govern ourselves. So just thank you so much for that. And just welcome you to this March meeting. Our intent again is to make it very short and sweet. Don't want to hesitate if you have questions at all, but just if you could just raise your hand, that would really help technically a lot. Would really, really appreciate this. I'm pleased to share that we have finally completed our committee assignments. Yay! We have finished. Thank y'all so much to the board for assisting me in doing so. Do we have the list to display? I thought we did, but if not, I can certainly read it quickly. Okay, that's fine. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So those are the committee assignments. If you do not see your picture there for any reason, we will correct that. Because some of you I talked to yesterday. So just thank you for your commitment to making sure that the business of VRE continues straightforward in an impeccable way. And we're going to get it done as we always have. And so we just thank you for your commitment. Are there any questions about the committee assignments? Are there any
Ms. Holmes?
changes?
Ms. Holmes has her hand.
Thank you.
So I see the executive audit and the evaluation and finances. Executive audit, what we were calling legislative, because I don't see legislative.
Legislative is in the middle.
I see underneath the CEO evaluation. My bad.
And
I
your
just
pic-
saw
your
the
picture-
yes,
Yeah.
I see it.
And your picture is beautifully shown there.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
yes, Miss Young, yes, thank you.
I
Ms. Holmes.
just have a question on the executive audit. Those are by invites only or appointments, right? Even though I sit in that one.
The
Yes.
executive audit committee is made up of the officers of the board.
Okay. Okay, we're good? Okay.
Yes.
Ms. Holmes, did you have another question? Okay, would you lower your hand, please? Thank you. Thank you, cute. I love it. Okay. And so I'm happy to announce also we'll be taking our show on the road. Our board has asked that we have meetings in different places just to make sure that everybody is familiarized with the areas that we are serving. And so we are taking our show on the road. I've talked with Katie about that, and she and Leslie are going to support us in that endeavor with a number of board locations to go and have our meetings in. And Katie will be taking care of that when she takes over for her report. And so just thank you for the conversations that we've had individually to craft this board in a stronger way, just moving forward and escalating the job that we need to do. I think we have come together as a great team. I appreciate your support. And so I don't have any additional things to report. Are there any questions for me as the chair? Okay. If not, then I'll pass it over to our Chief Executive Officer, Miss Katie Cho. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning, everyone. I have moved into my office so that I'm a little more right on with you guys. So good morning to the chair and all of the board members. I do appreciate all of you being here on this first virtual meeting. We will certainly take anywhere where we feel like we have hiccups and fix it for next time. But I like the fact that we're able to do this because I do believe it's convenient every once in a while to have these virtually. So appreciate that. So I'm going to start today by discussing operations and communications. The very first thing that I will do is I'm very pleased to announce the promotion of Chris Henry to Chief Operating Officer. Chris is in the room with all of our staff. He joined VRE in 2010, but has over 40 years of experience in operations and customer support. What I've always been very impressed with Chris since in the last 8 weeks that I have known him is his strength is his focus on people. He cares very deeply about our riders and their experience. It comes through in everything that he does. And he will really be my key partner in our transition of operations from a commuter rail service to a regional rail service. So that's really his charge, is to help us through this transition. So I just want to say congratulations to Chris. Everyone here is really quite happy that we've had this internal promotion, and just want to say congratulations. Unfortunately, we have had a bit of a rough go the last couple weeks in our, sorry, I'm trying to get there we go. Bit of a rough go in the last few weeks. February turned out to be a strong month for on-time performance. We were not quite at our 90% on-time performance goal, but very much approaching it in the upper 80s. The last 2 weeks, unfortunately, were hampered by mechanical issues, trespasser delays, congestion caused by Amtrak infrastructure conditions. For the week of March 6th, which was our lowest performance we have had in sort of the very recent history. We had 3 brake issues on our trains that caused significant delays, not just to the trains that had the mechanical issues, but then caused backup behind them as well. So it sort of was a cascading delay. And then we also, in that same week, had 2 trespassers on the right of way, one of which prompted a medical response and the other a law enforcement response. Neither of them were directly related to our trains, but when there is a trespasser incident, it shuts the entire line down until the incident is addressed. So it was a bit of compounding delays in that week. The next week, the week of March 13th, Amtrak imposed a single tracking operation and a 10-mile-per-hour speed limit through the First Street tunnel. So coming out of Union Station, you have to go through that tunnel in order to get out of the station and onto the rest of the lines. This caused significant delays, both to their own operations, Amtrak's operations, but also to VRE. Good news is it was lifted earlier this week. It was related to an infrastructure issue, but it was a challenge for a few days. And then also during that week, there was a commercial power outage at Union Station that impacted the signal system. So we had compounding infrastructure delays at Union Station that caused a number of delays for our trains that second week. That said, our overall on-time performance has been between 87 and 88% for the last eight of the last 10 months. So January was low. That was primarily due to storms. We are back up in February to the 88%. Our goal is 90, so we're very close. And so we're going to keep working towards that 90%. We do know that those last 2 weeks really were tough, and that the timing of delays and lack of communication impacts riders' decisions and our behavior, and we need to maintain riders' trust in order to keep them on the trains. So in response to 2 weeks of a bit of reliability challenges, we did hold a Meet the Management at Alexandria Station. It also coincided with Transit Worker Appreciation Day. So we were able to, as a staff, thank our transit workers, the people who actually run the trains. They are the face of VRE to all of our riders. We also had riders express their appreciation to the transit workers at that event. We delivered packages to our conductors, and I will encourage you all to go to our social media channels because we posted a really nice video of the appreciation for our transit employees and our transit workers, and that celebrated this event. So Meet the Management was sort of a twofer this time. It was thanking our transit workers, but really more importantly, given the reliability piece, was a chance to thank our riders for sticking with us and be there to answer any questions that they had. And so at Meet the Management, we were able to provide snacks and drinks and swag a lot of swag at our table to our riders, gave them an opportunity to meet me, ask questions directly to me and our other VRE staff about the service in general, any challenges over the last couple of weeks. And then we were able to also highlight what was happening with the Alexandria Station construction project and what was coming up. So people who use Alexandria Station had a chance to see what changes were coming both in the short term and long term with Alexandria, ask any questions about the impact that they would have on their commute. So it really gave them a chance to put faces, names, projects, and impacts together, and get all of their questions answered. Even with the recent delays, I will say that our riders are passionate about VRE, and we heard mostly accolades, which was great to hear those accolades, and some constructive feedback about improvement opportunities. We've responded to all of the riders that gave us that constructive feedback. We've looked into the things that they brought forward to us and are using that as ways to improve our service. One of the things that we have heard, our most common comment, I would say, during the storms, during the recent incidents, and also at Meet the Management, is that not everyone is getting our Train Talk notifications. So we typically ask people to sign up to receive those notifications. It's part of their account with VRE. We believe the reason that they're not receiving them is a combined lack of the transition to this new system. So they haven't signed up for Train Talks, but then also we think that we've had some technical delivery problems with those alerts as well. So because of that, we are trying to solve those issues, get more people to sign up, but we also have created VRE Train Talk accounts on both X and Blue Sky. So all our Train Talk alerts will be posted to both those accounts as well as our subscription service to broaden the accessibility. You no longer have to sign up under your account for Train Talk. You can go to these social media channels and actually receive those alerts. And I see a question from Dr. Young.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Dr. Young here. Quick question in terms of, I know that you mentioned Train Talk, but when I was commuting, I slogged, then I got on the train, and then sometimes I had to get on a Omni or something. Is there an app that does both? Like if you're doing VRE, do you have to go back over to try to find your bus, or is there something that is combined for the two? And if not, are you all thinking about that as a suggestion?
So our VRE app only addresses the VRE trains. However, if you use any of the normal mapping apps, so if you use Google Maps, if you use Apple Maps, or if you have one of the transit apps, there's literally an app called Transit, but there are others as well that actually combine all of those transit modes together to help you with your the intermodal connections. So our app doesn't do that, but it is a good suggestion, and particularly with OmniRide, given that we're sort of sister agencies, that could be an opportunity that we could work together on. So we added Train Talk to both X and Blue Sky. We also have joined Blue Sky. VRE in general has joined Blue Sky as an additional social media channel for our regular social media postings. So we have added Blue Sky to our portfolio of social media channels. Ridership is an area that we continue to remain focused on. This is our ridership by week, for the last, let's say, 6 to 8 weeks. And this is our ridership by month. And I will say that we are seeing a downward trend over the course of the last 12 months. And this is something that I am keeping a very close eye on. It's really hard to know how much of this is related to storms, seasonal variations, the federal workforce changes, our schedule adjustments, or any reliability events. So we've sort of seen all of those things come together over the course of the last 12 months. This is March. As we head into March, is the first month that we'll be able to do a direct comparison after the federal return to work mandate. So we're finally in an apples to apples comparison in terms of who we think should be riding and what commuting patterns they're taking. So we'll, over the next few months, be able to look at taking that variable out in terms of commute pattern and start looking at what potentially the federal workforce changes, the schedule adjustments, and any reliability blips are doing to our ridership. We're watching very closely, comparing the ridership and the performance of the past months and timeframes to give us that insight. We do know that other rail services ridership outside of traditional commute times has had the fastest growth. We are not providing that ridership or those service opportunities outside of traditional commute times regularly, but we are starting to get back into it. So I am happy to announce that VRE is bringing back the firework trains for the 4th of July. This is something that I believe it's probably been about 10 years since we have provided this additional event service. We're thrilled to be able to use them to help celebrate America's 250th birthday. This is the year to bring them back, and we're hoping to be able to continue this moving forward. On the theme of fireworks, we are entering a 3-year sponsorship with the Fredericksburg Nationals. We will, for the next 3 years, have an information booth at every game. We will be advertising all season. This is a great way of reaching people who actually should be on our trains. They're in the right area. They're potential riders. And we will be sponsoring the post-game fireworks on April 17th. That same game, we are hosting an all-employee event at the game so that we can all be there for the fireworks. And I would like to invite everyone on the operations board and all of your families to attend that game. So we will send out the details and a sign-up sheet on Monday. Would really love to have you. We will have an area where we're all gathering. We will have food. It's going to be a really great event. It's going to be an exciting way of celebrating this new partnership with the Fred Nats. And we want you all to be great voices of how wonderful VRE is. I'm going to shift gears now and start talking about organizational sustainability and growth. So last month, I said that I would be completing a preliminary organizational review to look at how we need to position ourselves for the future and this transition to regional rail and the increase in service that we'll be providing. I have made some changes to our org chart and reporting structure in order to support that growth. So under the Chief Financial Officer, we are moving risk management. And that really is primarily our insurance program. And that is looking at really thinking about how we are able to mitigate and reduce our risk in order to keep the costs for our insurance, our liability insurance down. Also looking at what changes we are advocating for and lobbying for at the federal level to look at levels of insurance that are required because those are contributing to our risk, our cost. I've also realigned our planning team under the Chief Financial Officer. That will allow a holistic, very strategic view of the long-term sustainability of the organization, not just financially, but also looking at operationally and our infrastructure. And then we are putting a focus under the CFO on revenues. So we're aligning our fare collection system, our fare products under the CFO, and also starting to look at programs for non-fare revenues. So things like how are we taking advantage of event trains? How do we have infrastructure properties, other opportunities that could be making us money to help to reduce either the subsidies by the jurisdiction or any needed fare increases, making sure that we're taking advantage of all available opportunities for non-fare revenue. Then under the Deputy CEO, I have aligned the safety program. We really want to look as we increase our service to strengthen and grow our safety program. It will become more critical as we have more people on the trains, as we're running more services, we're working more closely with our host railroads. And then also it gives us an opportunity to align our oversight with the new Keolis contract as that gets spun up. So it's a good inflection point right now to be able to add some additional oversight to Keolis's operations. I really believe that these changes will put the proper resources and support into the critical functions that are listed here to move us forward. We have also been tracking what's going on in Richmond. I am sure most of you are already aware of this, but I just want to do a quick summary. The General Assembly adjourned without a budget. We are all aware of that and will reconvene on April 23rd for a special session. We are still hopeful that that budget and any amendments to this year's budget will be advantageous for VRE. I was at the Alexandria Chamber breakfast yesterday, and they characterized the budget proposals as the House supporting transit operating funds and the Senate supporting transit capital funds. I think this is an accurate way of looking at it. We really need to wait and see how the negotiations play out. We do have gaps in both operating and capital, so we would benefit from either here. But we're still waiting to see what the final mix of support looks like for VRE. We do have some exciting news on progress towards our System Plan 2050. Last month, the board voted on 2 actions to move Broad Run station and yard expansion forward. Chris Coker is going to present later in this meeting on the project and its importance to our future regional rail service, give a little context around those votes that you took last month, and also looking forward to future votes that are coming. We also have heard that our Alstom new rail cars are on schedule, which is very exciting. So the actual fabrication of those will be starting in the next couple months. And we will be looking forward to those. Those are very closely aligned. Delivery of those cars are closely aligned with the Broad Run expansion. So they're partnered. Next month, we will be asking you to approve contract actions for both L'Enfant Station and Crystal City Station. Both of these projects are critical for the increased levels of service planned for after the Long Branch project is completed. So they all come together. Sorry, not L'Enfant. Longbridge. Did I say Longbridge? Longbridge and Longfont. They roll off the tongue similarly. They're both critical to be able to increase the service to seamlessly integrate the additional tracks that are coming over the river together. So these continue to move the needle forward. And then lastly, Seminary Yard improvement construction starts next week, which is very exciting. So we'll be on the ground construction next week. This will increase the storage capacity and improve the track conditions at the yard as part of a multi-phase build out. So this is kind of early phase one, really. And this is to eliminate our need to use Amtrak's Ivy City Coach Yard for our midday storage, and also to meet with Amtrak's requirement that we vacate their yard by 2028. So we have to build out Seminary Yard. We are trying to advance it quicker than we had originally intended because we've seen that the constraints at Ivy City impact our operations. And so we want to be able to have the flexibility to use Seminary Yard more fully earlier in order to maintain our operations. To support all of this work, we are welcoming a new employee to the team. Katrina Corkadell is a new project manager with Dallas's design and construction team. She joined us last week, or this week, actually. I think she joined us this week. She comes with construction experience and in particular knowledge of a delivery method called job order contracting. So this is adding a new tool to our project delivery toolbox that we're hoping to be able to use to increase our efficiency at delivering our capital projects, improving our stations, and improving our infrastructure. And then finally, as Chair Bailey referenced, we have been working on new opportunities for board meetings. We will be scheduling a board retreat for this spring that will take place, I believe, somewhere in Prince William County. We are working on that. And we have committed to holding somewhere between 3 and 4 offsite meetings a year. When I say offsite, meaning not at PRTC. So we'll have the one retreat that will be scheduled for this year. In July, we will be meeting in Fairfax County at the Mount Vernon Governmental Center. So thank you to Supervisor Stork for hosting us there. And then in October, we will be meeting at the Lou Maintenance and Storage Facility in Spotsylvania. We'll be able to give you all a tour of the Lou facility, which is an amazing facility, and host you on that property that we own. So it's one of VRE's properties. And we will get you all out there to see that end of the line. We are working on some opportunities on the Manassas line as well. So those will probably come more in the sort of winter timeframe. So looking at something like once a quarter, being able to do something outside of PRTC. And I believe that that's all I had. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to hear them.
Yeah, so I see Ms. Bagley's hand is up. Ms. Bagley, good morning again. And I
Good
see
morning.
Mr. Stark, you are after her.
Good morning. I know we want to keep moving, and this was actually something early in the presentation. You touched on the delays resulting from First Street Tunnel. I'm curious if you can just kind of speak more broadly. This probably won't be the last impact by the First Street Tunnel. Can you just give us a sense of what the expectations are over the next 6 months to a year of impacts, related to First Street Tunnel work?
Yeah, I'll get started and then I'll probably turn it over to Dallas and Chris. We know that First Street Tunnel is a bottleneck, and it's probably the only bottleneck that is not going to be addressed by all of the work that's ongoing now. And it is a challenge because it's Amtrak infrastructure. It's also a challenge because of the location. It's very difficult to do work in the First Street Tunnel. So yes, you are correct that we are likely to see additional infrastructure delays. We also find congestion delays at the First Street Tunnel as well. So it's a combination of infrastructure and congestion. As far as Amtrak has a project to address the First Street Tunnel, but it is not funded. So I don't anticipate that we will see anytime soon unless they are able to get funding for that project, which we have advocated for, that there will be a major rehab or expansion of that bottleneck. And, Mike might also know more about this. But they will continue with maintenance work, with sort of incremental improvement work as necessary. We are trying to be good partners there because it does impact us as well, and advocate for funding for both that project and for additional work that needs to happen. But I can't say that we've made any significant progress on that. I don't know if anyone in the room, or Mike, if you have any additional color to add to that.
I will advocate, if I may, and Madam Chair. We can go back and look at the history, but anecdotally, there's about once or twice a year, there's a major event in the tunnel. We've had Amtrak derailments, we've had service issues with infrastructure, all sorts of cases, if you will, inside the tunnel, which, as stated, being the bottleneck. There is a planned outage in October that will impact VRE and Amtrak and others. It is being timed with other works on the Northeast Corridor, Portal Bridge. Because of the Portal Bridge work cut in October, they're scheduling work in First Street Tunnel to sort of make the best use of that time in their system-wide approach. We will likely be impacted by that. We are coordinating closely with Mike and his team, Jeremy, on the operations side, Chris Henry, myself, as to what that looks like for VRE, trying to minimize those impacts. But after that's done, it will have significant improvements on the track, at least inside the tunnel, which has been the problem in the last few weeks. Antiquated track. It's the only movable point, switch that we have in the entire network that we use. And so it's a complicated piece. So we're working closely with them, but do expect that in October.
So I will say that one of the reasons why we are trying to advance the Seminary Yard work is because it gives us more flexibility. And so if there was ever a situation where we were unable to use the First Street Tunnel, we would still be able to maintain our operations. We would just stop short of Union Station and then be able to do our operations out of Seminary Yard. So we have a backup plan. It's obviously not great, doesn't get everyone where they want to go, but the number of people that actually get off at Union Station is a fairly low percentage. So if we had to use that backup plan, it would be a relatively small impact to our riders.
Yeah, to that, I would offer, just as Katie mentioned a moment ago, we're going to be coming to you again soon for request at Seminary, working our way through. The goal is by the end of 2026, we would be able to store the entire fleet at Seminary if need be. All 14 consists on the daily could be stored at Seminary if necessary, such as like the event we had this winter with, Ivy City Coach Yard was closed to us twice. We had nowhere to put our trains. So that will not be the case by the end of the year.
Excellent. Mr. Stork, I see your hand. You have to unmute yourself.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Katie, for the report and staff. Several questions, I guess to start with the Second Street Tunnel, I didn't really fully appreciate the impact or potential consequences for that. And I guess I don't still fully understand it, and maybe you all could put something together to help me or maybe the board all overall understand. I mean, my perception is L'Enfant, Long Bridge, we basically would be good to go and could optimize or maximize our use of the tracks, et cetera. And what I hear is that that's a potential bottleneck. And rather than getting into the details now, and maybe there's a quick summary, but I'd be more would like to have a better idea of what that means. If it's some kind of long-term impact or short-term impact or et cetera, just because we're investing in all those, the state's investing in all those, but would want to see and understand what else we should be thinking or looking at. So that's one. Two is the firework trains. I mean, in general, those dollars are in the budget. You're not looking for any additional funding, or it's not, because there is obviously additional cost to running that train. Is that something that you see any kind of financial impact for doing that?
So we are not asking for additional budget to run those trains. We will sell special event tickets for those. So it's not a typical train. And it's only one train on each line. So it's a relatively small, not a small effort. It's a big effort. It's a relatively small addition to the service. If we end up running more event trains, if we find that there's a lot of demand for this and it's a way of really raising VRE's profile and attracting new riders, we'll evaluate whether that's something that we will need to include in the next budget. But right now, we'll be able to absorb that in the existing budget.
Okay. You have any estimate of what you think you'll get in terms of provider revenue versus the cost?
Chris or Mark, do we have that yet?
We haven't set the pricing for the hard ticket for that event yet. We know that we're going to be able to carry upwards of 1,000 people per train. So it's not insignificant. We just haven't set the full pricing.
Okay. Well, when you have that, if you could just share it, I appreciate it.
Yep.
Katie, you kind of outlined some of the changes you're making. Is there something that you've put together you could provide to the board that would give us an overall picture of what those organizational changes are? And I saw the summary, but maybe I missed it, but I haven't seen any kind of I don't know, email or something that
Yep.
kind of walk through that.
So
Yeah, happy
Katie,
to do that.
if I can, Katie, that's something that you and I had talked about before, and Mr. Stork, we appreciate your questions. That in the era of transparency, that's something we had talked about before. If you could, she just wanted to announce it today. If you could just give us an opportunity she's been sending out a lot of emails to make sure that the board was informed. So that is something that I'd like to collaborate with you, Katie, on to make
Yep.
sure, if you don't mind, please, because I appreciate the transparency that you've been giving us thus far. And so we want to make sure that that's rolling. Mr. Karatonis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Part of my thunder is stolen because our CEO and staff and deputy CEO clarified how how important it is to get the Alexandria Rail Yard done and operational as soon as possible. I'm absolutely mesmerized by the fact that we can look at end of calendar 2026 right now for as I understand. Did I get it right that we will be able to store all our consensus there during day operations? So
That's correct.
that's amazing news, actually. That's very interesting. So I have two questions about that. I fully understand the operational advantage and the resilience for our service that comes from that. The second thing is, I do believe that there are also operational gains to have there. There is an operational dividend there, because does this mean that we will have to pay less to Amtrak, for example, for storing our trains up north of Central Union Station, etc.? That's one question. The second question is, and you can answer them together. So event trains, do we have an idea what event trains, what's the average cost of an event train operation? The reason I'm asking is, this is a great idea. At least speaking for the north side of the system, during the summer and fall months, there are tons of events, major events that could be destination events. And if you're looking for, I noted in the CEO's report that says we have to look in non-fare revenue sources. I wanted to see whether this is an idea that we can socialize with stakeholders of major events here and on the north side of the system, and ask them whether they would, for example, be ready to sponsor a train or so. There are some events of really regional attraction, and I could imagine that we could have a case there.
Yes, I agree with you very much, and we would like to partner with people on this. We do have some operational constraints with how many and what we can serve, and what Keolis's constraints are in terms of their staff and the operating hours that their restrictions that their staff have. So we wouldn't necessarily be able to run probably as many event trains as we would all like at this moment. But finding the right ones and getting partnerships and sponsorships for those trains would be great. So I'd be happy to work with any of you. Some of it is bringing people up, to the north and into sort of the DC metro area. Some of it maybe be bringing people down to Fredericksburg or to Manassas or to other areas if there are those if there are events that might be of interest regionally there. So I think it could go both directions.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't say that it's only northward.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there is a ton, and actually, this is the whole point to have something southward. I just know what's northward. I mean, this is maybe for the chair a good thing to work on, to inventorize, to have a catalog, and start there and know what could be qualifying for that. And the other thing is about the operational. I mean, potential operational savings, or gains from accelerating the delivery of the rail yard, and what has to be shifted in our capital investment program in order to get there.
Dallas?
Yes, I would like to take that one as well. So from the Amtrak perspective, definitely there would be savings, operational savings from not storing at Ivy City Coach Yard. For instance, the storage alone, but we also pay a premium on washing our train sets. They are paid to do that for us. Completing Broad Run Yard and exiting Ivy City, we will be able to do that at both of our yard facilities, 2 train sets a day, for instance, which saves not an insignificant amount of money. And so getting to that delivery is paramount. I would point out that Chris Coker is also the project manager and been no small part in the success of the delivery of the seminary as well. And fairly inexpensive cost. We basically, it's major track rehab will be just shy of $1 million by the end of the year total. All 3 packages that we've been doing in the rehabilitation to be able to get the entire fleet there if need be. And it's been no small effort on our collective parts. And so we're working towards getting away from the Amtrak cost.
We're looking at trying to save money on. So seminary is in our capital plan and funded. We are looking at ways of decreasing the cost and increasing the value. So we are hoping that being able to deliver it early actually does not result in any additional costs or shifts to the capital plan.
So we can do that
Excellent.
from basically without changing anything else, or I mean, ideally, I mean, that's the bliss, right? But I would be very interested to know, because this is not an if need be. The need is already now, yesterday actually.
Yes,
So
it's
there's no
yesterday.
question about that. So we were always assuming that it takes a major effort to get there. So I'm happy to see that maybe this effort is realistically doable now. So that's great.
Yes. So if we can, please, thank you, Mr. Karatonis. We're going to take one more question from Ms. Holmes. I see your hand. And gentlemen, if you could lower yours, that would be helpful as well. Thank you. And I hear you with the charge that the chair received from Mr. Karatonis. We will get with the respective board members to make sure that happens. So Ms. Holmes, please.
And I was just gonna follow up on Mr. Karantonis's question about the event trains and wondering, like, for the fireworks or other things that we would be doing, how far south are you going? Or are we planning on going? And just so I can start like telling people really.
We're going to run the full length of both lines. So
Okay.
it will be limited stops. We won't stop at every station, but we'll stop in every jurisdiction at the major stations, and particularly ones that have a significant amount of parking, so that we're able to handle the full load of the train.
That's exciting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
All right,
Okay.
my hand is lowered.
Oh, you're so kind. You're so kind. I appreciate you. And Katie, just thank you for that wonderful report and the brand new ideas, the ideas that we talked about from the very beginning when you came on board. You're executing them. So we really appreciate that. And I'll give my comments at the end of the meeting. But just thank you and congratulations to Chris and our new marketing, our new person that came on board, Katrina. Welcome. We're glad that you're here. We're going to move on now to our Virginia Railway public comment time. And the VRE accepts public comments both in person and electronically via the VRE website. Members of the public wishing to make a public comment have 3 minutes and should state their full name and the jurisdiction they live in, and written comments submitted before 8 a.m. This morning will be forwarded to the members of the board, as you very well know. Do we have any members of the public online with the VRE headquarters that would like to address the board at this time? Madam Clerk, do we have anything electronically submitted via comments?
Madam Chair, we did not have any electronic comments submitted.
Okay, great. Anybody sitting at the boardroom table? I don't see anybody. And so additionally, Leslie, did you see, I think Supervisor Stewart has joined us via phone. So I just noticed that as I was looking on the screen. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The next item that we'll be covering is the spending authority report.
Oh, sorry, that's me. You all received the spending authority report in your packet. There were only 2 items, one of which was the marketing agreement with the Fredericksburg Nationals. And the second was a purchase order with eBuilder, which is one of our project management information systems that is to extend the existing agreement with them for one-year term. Happy to take any questions on that.
I don't see any hands. Are there any hands? I don't see any. Okay. And a vote is not required. Am I correct?
That's correct, Madam Chair.
Okay. And thank you so much, Katie. The next will be the Broad Run Expansion Project briefing, please.
So I mentioned this as part of my report that Chris is going to report on the project. Just want to reiterate how important this project is to our transformation, and as Dallas alluded to, how important it is actually to an efficient use of our own facilities and our own money. So this will end up resulting in cost savings for us after this full build out. So this is a good project. Just everything about it is a good project. And so I'll turn it over to Dallas and Chris to take us through the details.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Madam Chair. Before our senior project manager, Chris, jumps in here, I'm going to cover the why part of this and then ask Chris to cover the what and how, right? So I'll start with an aerial image of the existing facility. It's a little hard to discern in the photo app. I'm not able to point on the screen for you, but the station itself is currently bisected by two jurisdictions, right? It sits, you can see the line between the two. That is the station right here, if any of you can see that. North part is in the city of Manassas, south part is in Prince William County, bisected right there as you see. The future plan, and Chris is going to unpack this a little more, future plan is to construct 2 new tracks and our employee welfare building and the car wash, train wash, as well as rebuild the station. The why part of this, honestly, to be clear, is about the delivery of our new cars, right? We've talked about that. In order to get more train sets, we need more cars. Some of you may remember when we built the Lou facility, we actually constructed 2, technically 3 new tracks. Those tracks were able to receive and store 11 of the 21 cars being delivered. The remaining 10 have to go to this facility. Therefore, it has to be delivered, the Broad Run facility has to be delivered before we take delivery of those cars in presumably 2028. Thus, the timeline that we're looking at here. So those 2 new tracks will receive and store 2 new consists essentially and give us more operational flexibility. To do that, though, there is a conflict between the existing facilities. So we're lengthening the tracks and widening the yard to be able to do that. So that will accommodate that future plan and thus the why. I'm going to turn it over to Chris to really talk about the what and how.
Good morning, everyone, and happy first day of spring.
Indeed.
Indeed. So I'm going to start us off with a bird's eye view of the project site. This is the facility as it is today. The yellow line is the perimeter of the property currently owned by the commissions. As we plan to expand the footprint of the project, we're going to require additional property. So I will walk us through that step by step in addition to some of this. But the green lines in this image represent the 4 additional tracks and the extension of the 8 existing tracks. When we do that, we impact some of our existing facilities, with that being the crew buildings and the existing stations. So those areas shown in red will have to be demolished before we can extend the tracks. We will come in latter stages and build a new administrative employee welfare building to replace the old crew buildings, a new train wash building, and a brand new broad run station, which will sit completely within the city of Manassas. As I mentioned, we will have a few property actions for this project, the first of which has been completed, and that is to get a permanent easement from our next door neighbors at Lumen. We did record that back in December 2025. The next up for us will be property that we're proposing to acquire from Prince William County. So on the screen, the purple area is what we currently own, and the yellow is what we would expand into. And here we have shaded in pink the property that we would acquire from the city of Manassas / Manassas Airport. This will serve 2 purposes. This will give us property for the footprint of the brand new station and the first leg of a future project, which will be the VRE lead track that I'll get into later. So just a bit of an update on where we stand with the project overall. We're currently at the 95% stage in design. We did just welcome our construction management team to the family, so they are currently now doing some constructability reviews, and that'll just help inform the final design as we get to the finish line there. We have made our applications for building permits and site permits through both AHJs in the city and the county. But we do have conditional approval of our 3 building permits, and we are just getting through addressing some final comments on our site permit applications. So the construction solicitation will be dependent on the transfers of the property and ultimately getting award of the site permits. And once we do get into construction, we are anticipating a 2-year timeline. Did want to take this opportunity to thank the operations board for their help. In the past year alone, we've had 5 action items passed for the Broad Run expansion project. Looking forward, we've got 3 more on the horizon. Coming up first in May, we'll come to you to get authorization to execute a contract for the early procurement of special track materials. After that, we will come to you to get a recommendation to the commissions to acquire the property from the county and the city that we discussed. And then once all that's in place, we'll be coming back to you to execute the contract for construction and start getting shovels in the ground. So excited for that. Next, I did want to highlight sort of a spin-off project from the Broad Run expansion, and that will come on the heels of this, and that is the VRE lead track. This would be a nearly 3-mile extension from the Broad Run facility to a point just before Grant Avenue in the city. And this will be separate from the mainline tracks, but adjacent to it. This will really help us with operations to help separate the commuter rail from the freight rail in that busy section NS operations. Just a bit of an update. I believe we'll be closing on the property later this month that we're acquiring from VPRA.
Yes.
And the project itself is in the planning phases. So
Awesome.
Right. With that, thank you, Chris. I'll point out to we sought a grant for that design as well, design effort, which was last month or before. I want to offer this as well. I really want to paint a picture of the yard and how it really changes the operation and helps us. One of which was, I mentioned the train wash. For instance, when we built the loo, we built capacity to wash not just one consist per day. We now have the capacity to wash 2 train consists per day at that facility. The addition of the train wash here will allow us to do at least 2 consists a day at this facility, therefore 4 a day, and therefore we will not have to employ Amtrak for train washes, which is not inexpensive. In addition, I want to offer this piece as well. This is not part of the current Broad Run expansion project, but it was a derivative thereof. When we were doing the design, some of you may remember we were looking at other alternatives that had parking on the west side of the tracks and different configurations of how to get from west to east. One of those that was derived was a potential highway bridge solution that could be built from Observation Road over the tracks into the facility with a potential bus loop and direct connection to the airport. We are working closely with airport officials on what that might look like with a direct connection to the airport for parking, for instance, at the facility. Again, in that spirit of intermodal, multimodal connections with roadway, airport, and rail. This project's not currently funded. It is basically, we completed what I call a TSNL, type, size, and location study of where the bridge could be located. Our design contemplates that. In other words, we have not precluded any of that in our utility layouts and our parking layouts. We've basically said, what if this bridge were to be built by a subsequent project? How could we accommodate for that in our build today? And we have done that here. So just want to offer that as we conclude and to see if there's any questions.
Thank you so much, Dallas and team. And Chris, thank you so much for your thorough explanation. On the screen, I see 3 hands. I'm going to start with Mr. Gordy, and then Ms. Young, and then Mr. McLaughlin. In that order, please. Mr. Gordy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for this presentation. I'm going to start with where you ended, Dallas. I think the residency lane is absolutely a very important conversation that we need to have. And I just wanted to also make you aware, as we are looking at this from a planning standpoint from the county side of things, there are potential industrial developments to the south of the airport. The idea that some have proposed of widening Bristow Road in order to access that property cannot be accomplished due to the historical homes that are along Bristow Road. That road simply cannot be widened at the crossing. And so anything that relates to needing access, ingress or egress to this potential development needs to come from the airport side. We're already in conversations. I've had conversations with the airport director and also with potential developers about this challenge and yet this opportunity to look at this holistically with what VRE is doing with the other demands that are coming from economic development. So I just want to add that extra layer to a thought as that looks towards a future planning cycle. On the lead track, I think this is also going to become tremendously important as Norfolk Southern is putting its second track from Nokesville to Calverton. I think there's going to have increased traffic because the intermodal trains, the other trains are not going to have to stop and wait. So there's going to be a free flow of commercial traffic flowing through this area. So I think the lead track is something that's very important to help us with on-time performance. especially as that second tracking gets completed along that 8-mile stretch from Nokesville to Calverton. In terms of the timing of the purchase from Prince William County, you mentioned you're looking at a May timeframe. Can you just give me and maybe if this is something we need to take offline, we can do that. But just what do you need from us? How can we help to help facilitate this between now and the time that you want to close on that contract? And then the last question that I have is related to parking impacts. As we take up some of the parking with the new welfare facility for the workers, what's going to be the impact on parking?
Thank you, Mr. Gordy. I'll take those questions and divert some to Chris for answers. But thank you, Madam Chair, for the time today. Right, it's been nice to be able to unpack a project like this. We don't normally get as much time for information items, so this has been very useful.
And useful for us too, Dallas. Thank you.
Indeed, indeed. And I look forward to talking about First Street Tunnel, maybe as early as next month. And so, with that said, first of all, the bridge concept, it is a very complicated geometry. I do think, and we spent a lot of time with it. Most people aren't aware there's an overhead clearance issue with the airport. So you can't build but so high into the air, and you have to be over the tracks a certain amount too. So it's literally threading the needle, like of an airspace over the tracks and into the facility, which complicates matters. We would certainly entertain additional conversations with folks with the county and what that might look like. And then master planning sense, working with Christine and others, what that looks like from the airport perspective, parking perspective, and transport across from Residency Road. As for the parcel, I believe we are in the appraisal phase right now. That is mandatory because of the money sources we are using. We will have to complete the appraisal, review appraisal, and then work closely with you to make that purchase of that parcel, which is happening now. May be ambitious given board action, commission actions, and appraisal actions, but we stand ambitious to get that finished. I will say that property actions and permitting actions are not always the longest items for us. Design, what I say, is longer, but it's unpredictable. Like, how long will it take? And so we don't really know always, as much as we try to put our arms around that. In this case, both purchases are with our jurisdictions, and we hope that will help us expedite that. As far as parking impacts, the net parking is a slight reduction in the total number of spaces, but does not seem to impact our capacity at this point, our need at this point, and for the foreseeable future. I will offer, there is a concept that has been leveled with, also shared with the airport, for a parking garage if ever needed. There is a way to fit a parking garage on the lot itself, and that is not precluded. Excuse me, that is also not precluded in our design. So I think that addresses all your questions, Mr. Gordy. No?
Okay.
It does. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gordy. Ms. Young, I see your hand. And I also see Ms. Vasquez Luna. I see your hand as well. Please, Ms. Young.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. And thank you, Chris and Dallas, for the update. Mine is more general and is risk mitigation. And it sounds that you all are working on that. The property acquisition is still pending, it sounds like, right? But construction cannot proceed until the transfer is complete. So my question is more about risk mitigation. If the property transfers are delayed, what is the potential cost escalation exposure that we are looking at if construction solicitation is pushed? Are we looking at that?
So we hope we're in a good place with the property acquisition, and so far all indications are we've had conversation with both jurisdictions. Both are willing sellers, if you will. So we're just moving through the formal process itself. So yes, it is a risk. It is fairly minimal risk. If it is delayed, we do carry escalation factors in our cost estimate, right? We escalate costs to the midpoint of construction based on average inflation, those sorts of measures, CPI, other things that we carry in our cost tool. Right now, we don't expect any additional delays in that sense. And we're working on things like our early works package. Chris mentioned a moment ago, the board has approved us to move forward with that solicitation. So we are moving forward as if the property is a going concern, that we will be successful in the coming months, but have accommodations if not.
We also have some
Thank you.
operational accommodations, so this doesn't quite hit the cost, but it does hit our operational risk as those rail cars will be delivered. We need somewhere to put them. We have been working with Sarah Higgins on the vehicle and mechanical side with a contingency plan in the case that those deliveries happen before the project is fully complete. So we will be able to take delivery of those cars. It's not ideal, but we'll be able to do it.
Thank you for the update.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Young. Mr. McLaughlin, saw your hand as well.
I'll be quick. Yes. Thank you, Tom Gordy, for mentioning Knoxville to Calverton. That was part of the original New River Valley deal we had a few years ago with Norfolk Southern to construct that. There's about a 7 to 8 mile gap, as you alluded to, of what will now be a 22-mile continuous double track. Whereas it's outside of the VRE territory, it's just outside of the VRE territory. So that's going to help the fluidity of trains, which will therefore help the fluidity of trains within the VRE territory too. I also want to state that similarly, in a second part of that deal, we had just hard to believe it was 2 years ago now, purchasing that 3 miles or so from Manassas to Broad Run was a big deal, and I'm glad that VRE is moving forward with that, building that track in that area, because controlling your own destiny, VRE is very important. And NS does use the section coming into Manassas, just north of Broad Run, a lot. So getting out of their way is a big deal. So I know that's already been stressed, but this is important to really fulfilling the control your own destiny that the Manassas line purchase has by not only purchasing that land, but VRE building out that third track all the way into Broad Run. So thanks to the VRE team for moving that forward.
Okay. Ms. Vasquez Luna. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I believe I don't feel like like it has been expressed when it comes to the purchase. Not so much about the biggest part, but more about the line that goes all the way to Observation Road, the longer than the smaller part. I believe that this is another great opportunity where we see, not only that we have to work in regions, but also, the localities have their own priorities, and I'm sure that in other places it might be even more difficult than here. I appreciate the meeting. I believe there's more meetings that need to be had before these come to council if we want to this to be successful. I will help in any way I can, but it is difficult when there are different projects for the same area. And then here, even a little bit more when I know you are used to it, but for me, I'm just bringing up the challenges, especially with FAA and at the end, here we are, doing what's best for VRE, but we also representing and answering to our residents who send us to these positions. And then for me, it's like I have to answer also to my council who trusted me to be here in this seat. So I'm asking for staff, and I appreciate the CEO lead on also supporting the conversations. But I'm really concerned of how we think it is closer than I believe it is, and hopefully I'm missing something. But at least the long area, it's something for big concern, and I have to be able to answer to my colleagues in my area. And this bring it back to the Manassas station, and I know we're not talking about it, but I believe some stuff it wouldn't have happened if we had these conversations, and it had been resolved before it was presented. But I hope we're able to avoid that and work forward. And I think, we're able to work on, great things. But if we're not talking and making sure that we all understand and we all hear everybody's side. I'd be, more than happy to say, to one of the comments made prior, no, I just keep it in the county. So, at the end, we're here to work together. I'm not here to say do it on the airport or do it in the county. I'm here to say let's do what's best for VRE, being a great partners for the airport, for the city, and for the county as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Luna. I appreciate it. And I'm going to say, my goal this morning is to make sure this is a short meeting. And so I'm asking you to keep your comments to like maybe 2 minutes, if you don't mind, please, so that we can make it a short meeting, an informational meeting. And so I see your hand, Mr. Caratonis, if you would, please.
Yes, Madam Chair, very short. Two things. First of all, this is an exciting project. I fully understand the operational interest here that we have at VRE. But this now is embedded in a bigger, more important project, which is surrounding the Manassas Airport. So, for my colleagues or from VRE leadership, I would ask you to point me to any resource that shows how this airport is planned to grow, because we heard that it's ready to take commercial flights, etc. This is important and exciting, and it has two immediate consequences. First is this airport will need parking one way or the other. Regional airports are famous for starting to market with how easy and cheap it is to park there. While one goes on travel. And the second is other collateral things like, for example, hospitality, etc. So I would like to know that, because this is relevant for the operation of Broad Run station itself. And the second thing is, is the capital investment there going hand in hand with any enhancement, improvement, reinvestment in our safety control and monitoring system? Because typically when you upgrade this kind of end of the system facilities, storage facilities, and maintenance facilities, you do that as well. So I was just missing this part, and I would like an information that could illuminate that.
I'll speak a little bit to the airport coordination piece. We've been working very closely with the airport on their plans for bringing in commercial service, and we're viewing it as a huge opportunity for VRE, because it's that multimodal connection of being able to service the commercial flights. And so we're already working on looking at what their flight schedules are going to be, so that we can start thinking about how our train schedules can align with that, so that we can get people to and from the airport to align with the flights. So huge opportunity for us. I think that it's a great partnership with the airport. So I'll speak to the sort of operations piece in terms of getting you information on what they actually have planned. We can put you in touch with the right people, or certainly anyone on the board may be able to do that as well. I don't want to step in front of anyone, but we are having those conversations, and we're really excited about being able to partner with them to ensure that our operations support their work and vice versa. So that's that piece. In terms of the actual safety and security upgrades, we do ensure that that we do have the best safety and security as we upgrade our yards. We do have full 24-hour staffing at our fenced in yards. We will be adding them at some areas. We're doing overnight storage. But I don't know, Chris, if you want to speak to the specifics on any of the technology improvements that we have going on.
Yeah, so we have a security camera project that has been integrated into the Broad Run expansion project. So that'll be constructed at the same time, fully integrated. And then as the yard increases its footprint, we will just expand the safety perimeter in the county. So it will remain secure even throughout construction. We have stipulations for the contractors. For example, if they take down a section of fence during the day, somebody has to be there the entire time. If not, it has to be closed up with a temporary measure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you so much, Mr.
Just a note,
Terracona.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
these new cars that will be delivered, they really, they are a huge upgrade. This is a completely different train that's coming out there. And I would like VRE to be in a condition in 28 to fully take advantage of that. And also on the airport side, there is a little detail that normally is overseen. Somebody will have to run some sort of a shuttle service or so to the actual terminal there. This is not a trivial cost, and I would like early commitments to that from the airport authority, whoever will be running this airport, so that we can build on that. Thank you.
I
don't want to
appreciate
be
that.
holding the bag on for this.
No, I appreciate your comments, and that is something that we probably need to delve a little bit deeper into. And we will get the resources for the board to make sure that everyone understands exactly the way ahead in that as it applies to VRE. Your point is very well taken, as well as Ms. Vasquez Luna, when you mentioned about the collaboration jurisdictionally. We'll make sure that in working with Katie, I'll make sure we discuss that as it is coming forth to the board and what that looks like as well. I guarantee you that our aim is always with these projects to have full transparency as we're making decisions from the board going forward, but it is a collaborative effort, and that is our intent, not just as a board, but of course with the VRE team. So I hear you loud and clear. Don't see any more hands, and we're doing good. It's 10:23. How about that? So I'm going to start with the operation board members' time. And so I'm going to go according to who I see on the screen. If you were here first, please forgive me. Okay, look at that. Sarah had to leave us because she had to go to her meeting that she had planned in North Dakota, but we really appreciate her being here. But I'm going to start, if you don't mind, with Mr. Gordy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The only thing I would just add, maybe at some point, if when we're doing these kind of board meetings in, not at PRTC, if there's one here in the Manassas Broad Run area, potentially we can invite the airport director out, could kind of give us a brief with what's going on and what they foresee as the opportunity to partner with VRE and what those opportunities are. So that's something that I think would be a great opportunity for the rest of the board to hear what the vision is for the Manassas Airport and what the expectations are going forward. With that, I have nothing else to offer. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Thank you.
Mr. Gordy, I will coordinate with you to make that happen. Okay? All right. Next, I see Miss Lori Hayes. You were here first. I saw you, Lori. But thanks for your patience.
I'll go ahead and pass, except for wish everybody a good weekend. And thank you for holding this virtual. This has been actually very productive. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Madam Chair.
Ms. Holmes.
Madam Chair, I forgot one thing on mine. Congratulations, Chris, on taking over as COO. Very, very well earned. Very well done.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Holmes, please.
I will say, happy spring, and I'm very excited about the collaboration with Fred Nats. I think that will be really productive. They're fun games, so I encourage. I don't even really like sports, but I really love going to a Fred Nats game. So don't hold it against me, but it's true. So I encourage people to come on down and be a part of that, promoting VRE. Thanks.
Wear your baseball cap. Wear your baseball cap. Okay, Mr. Karatonis, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To Chris as well, congratulations. Also, quite impressive the fresh air that I perceive coming in on with many new ideas. I agree with you, Madam Chair, that this is also a lot of food for thought for this board and some incentive to dive into maybe into parts of the system we are not immediately invested in our daily lives. This brings us together, and it incentivizes thinking a little bit out of our usual boxes. So thank you very much for that. I have quite a list of to-dos here. I want from Arlington, I want to tell you that the conversation about another airport, the national airport, is ongoing. The connection of Crystal City to this airport via connecting also the VRE train station and the new station at Crystal City is ongoing. In early April, we'll have the county board will have another meeting with the operator of Washington Airports, the Washington Airport Authority, the Metropolitan Washington Airport Authority, and we are trying to get these projects under as good as possible to make sure that they happen, that they are delivering in a way that works for all stakeholders. That is, of course, primarily VRE and the airport and the Crystal City area. Again, an invitation to our CEO, and I will touch base with her on this to come and visit with the communities that are here on this later in the spring, probably. I think that meeting with the management was an amazingly well-placed initiative at the right time and with the right people. I look forward to replicate that and take a little bit of her time further down the road to meet even more people and get acquainted with this part of the system, the social part of the system as well, because they are stakeholders as well. Thank you very much. Happy spring and onward.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Mr. Stewart, I know you're on the phone, but if you can unmute and let us know that you're breathing, we'd appreciate it.
I'm
Stewart.
actually on screen. I've
Okay,
switched
I didn't
over.
see you. I didn't see you. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
I want to wish happy spring to everybody, and I'm looking forward to the firework train and the Nats game, and want to congratulate Chris on his appointment. And that's all I got.
Well, I'm glad you can join us on screen. You made it work. Thank you. Thank
I
you so
did.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Mr. Stewart, please, our vice chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and congratulations, Chris. Thank you all very much for making this virtual meeting work. I think it has, and I appreciate, Madam Chairman, you're kind of keeping things rolling along because it's more difficult in a virtual meeting. And just appreciate the additional, the presentation on Broad Run. That was very helpful to see that in depth, and look forward to, I guess, seeing how the other connections will work, and using an opportunity like this to give us, those other connections, I think will help us be more effective board members, as well as help our colleagues understand how all this fits together. And 2050 is going to happen because we're building the infrastructure to make it happen. So again, congratulations all. Have a good spring.
I love that. It's going to happen because we're going to make sure that it happens. I love it, Mr. Stork. Okay, Ms. Vasquez Luna, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to thank the staff for all the hard work over the winter. I know we had a unique winter, and especially with the last snow and all the things that are coming at us. Sometimes they feel new, but it's a reminder of how good the staff is in answering the issues, and how prepared everyone is when it comes to safety, which I greatly appreciate it. I am concerned about the ridership, but I do believe that all this has affected. So and especially, the changes since January. So I'm hopeful that by now that the spring is here, that we'll see, something better in the future, and remind that we all are part of making sure that our residents see VRE and see them as see it as an option to ride and safely ride and arrive to their places. I would like to, congratulate everyone on their promotions and also the new employees. I know we don't get to hear about everybody, but for the leadership, it is great when you get great feedback on the decisions made. So congratulations. I will continue to ask for not forgetting about weekend service, whatever that looks like. But I believe the conversation continues here, and I hope we have an opportunity later to talk about it. When it comes to Manassas, the commercial flights are scheduled for first or second quarter of 2027. Just a reminder, let's not forget the Manassas Airport is part of the city, and we do have a city manager who oversees all the departments. So I know that sometimes we skip that, and I would like for that to be, as part of um, uh, the decisions and the reach out that, it's, we do have a steps, and just like I will tell the city to make sure that they also follow it. The chain of command is no different than my request for that. And enjoy enjoy your hopefully beautiful weather, and I'm so excited about not only the plans that we have made in this board, but how we're coming together and working together through everything that is before us. So, thank you, Manager.
Thank you so much for your comments. And know that Katie still has the weekend trains on her mind. She does. She does. Miss Young, thanks for your
Yes,
patience.
I'm gonna be Debbie Downer. But anyway, congratulations to Chris Henry on your COO position. I also wanted to thank Min Chow on the letter she sent. I'm not going to go into detail, but congrats on that negotiation. And then next, I just wanted to touch on the reality of the war. And I wanted to know how we are boosting up our security on the trains to keep people safe. Simply that in the past we had made trash cans smaller so that backpacks can fit in it, and then we remove them as we lax in security. And I just wanted to put it on our mind that we may think that it's far away, but it is here, and we move a lot of people around, and we want to make sure that we keep them safe. So I want to feel that we are doing something ahead, not after, to keep our people safe. So if at some point in time you could bring back to us what security measures are you putting in place for to prevent any attacks among our trains and around our buses, and to keep our communities safer. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up, and I actually think that might be a great conversation for next month in a closed session, so that we can talk about the safety and security of the system. So if Madam Chair and I will talk about that and see if we can fit that in. I would like to make sure that we're having that conversation together.
Great. Got it, Katie. We'll have that in closed session. Not a problem at all. Mike, I see you. Do you have any comments?
Nothing else for me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for joining us. I am very happy. It is 10:35. I'm going to take 2 minutes, if you will give me grace in doing so, before we adjourn. The fireworks train, what an impeccable idea. We talked about, not just during the interview cycle, but when Katie came on board, we talked about creative marketing, and we will continue to do that as we serve our citizens. So I think that is a grand opportunity in creative marketing, and not expending a lot of money to do it. We like when we save money. So we appreciate that idea, and being with the Nats as well. That offering an opportunity for us to just relax our minds, put a baseball cap on and relax our minds, but also talk about how great VRE is. And so just thank you for Katie, you and your team for coming up with these creative marketing ideas to show people how important VRE is in mobility in regional area. The other thing is welcome again to Katrina. I know you're going to make an indelible mark on the team, and you're going to show them how it's done. So welcome aboard. And to Chris, thank you for staying in the family and being our COO. It's like you had the title anyway, but you are here doing the work, and we appreciate all the work that you do for us. Katie, I just want to say to you, the wonderful CEO newsletter that you put out for us says a lot. It keeps us abreast of what's going on, and that's an opportunity for some of the things that you heard today, just to highlight, if you would, in your newsletter, because it's a brilliant piece of work to help us when we can't read emails, we can read your newsletter. So thank you so much for that. I want to thank Dallas and the team for your presentation. It was wonderful, especially the broad run piece. Out of that birthed a lot of questions. And I'll work with my colleague, Mr. Gordy, to see how we can bridge the gap in those concerns. I know, Tom, that it's his area as well as the Manassas area. So we've got to bridge the gap and make sure that those kind of stories are told succinctly as we present to the VRE board, because everybody doesn't know our area. So, and for Ms. Vasquez Luna, the collaboration jurisdictionally, that's an opportunity for us. And I'll talk to Katie about that. We just got a new appointee for this regional area, Mr. Rod Hall, as it relates to the airport authority. So that might be an opportunity to bring him forward to make a presentation about the airport in that area. I'll talk to Katie about that and what that means. But anyway, and lastly, no, not lastly, two lastlies. One is for our board members, thank you for responding to me immediately about the committees that you want to be on. I would encourage you to start having your meetings so that we could be in the same rhythm as the board and as the staff to make sure that we're making good decisions and recommendations from those committees. So thank you so much. And if you did not see your name on the committees, I know I talked to a few of you last evening, but know that that will be updated. And to Leslie, thank you for that beautiful slide that you put in there for us. It was absolutely great. But lastly, I just want to thank the staff for this brilliant meeting. I think we did good for our first virtual meeting. And I wanted to make it not just convenient for you, but also informative from the staff. But, we are in the midst of transition and change and growth all at the same time. And that's hard when we're trying to govern. And I respect that wholeheartedly, being a part of the ranks and the realm of that. But I think we're doing an impeccable job as we go forward in bringing this all together in this element of change and serving in this high level of mobility for this region. And so with that, if there's no other comments, without objections, I'd like to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here this evening, and have a great weekend. Enjoy the sun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Madam
you,
Chair.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Sorry we can't talk, but we're doing it. Thanks, staff. Y'all look great at that table. To the technical staff, y'all were awesome. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Les, you know how I feel about you. Couldn't do it without you.